20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so say you're straight with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the facts of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's all mine, all mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. Wanna drift to say some shit, just block that internet freak. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. I messaged some bounty over Tumblr last night. She said, raw X3, so it's true love at first sight. Throw out my candy bracelets, now I'm headed to class. I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the
Alright, everybody. One moment, because, again, screen capture is just acting a little weird lately. So we're using specified game capture, and it's a little bit different. But we got it. We got it. We got it. Hello, Code and Assembly. Good to see you. We shall finish up tidying up the library today, I feel. A nice simple way to finish off today. Arcane Detective Files. Let's go ahead and grab just all of these, thank you very much. And then I'll auto-sort them, and then I will be able to see their shelf. No, wait, I used the different... Okay, so this is Arcane Detective Files. So we're looking for a mystery fiction area, I feel like. How are you doing, though? I have so much fucking mystery novels, 2M. Okay, it's gonna be all the way down there. I have a lot on my plate as of late. Mostly because I keep picking up new things. I was working on a bit of like a few different things today. Mostly trying to figure out how I'm still like planning out the new thumbnail for the Amazing Digital Circus thing. We lost power yesterday from 4:30 to 9:30 p.m. Oh, that sucks. During summer in Louisiana, that is rough. That is rough, buddy. Oof. Detective the Reaper. Okay, so that's a different one. Different series. Oh man, well I'm glad it came back on. At least it came back on before he went to bed. Like, because in Louisiana, anybody who doesn't know in Louisiana who's listening, by the way, you do not want to have to deal with you do not want to have to deal with summer heat in Louisiana without AC. It's just like so humid and so hot at the same time. Oof, it gets bad. But yeah, so I've been working on the new drawing. You know, fixing up the head so the eye, it's like a jaw with the eyes. I think I have a rough outline. I'm gonna try and push, you know, create like a more contained sketch and see if that does what I need it to. I still need to find those other keys. Is that a key? Or is that just like a scuff on the window? Wish I could zoom. Oh, I can zoom in. No, I feel like that's just like a weird thing with the texture. It was due to the storm, so a cold front was coming in. The heat was not a problem. Oh, that's good at least. That's nice. Like, at least if the AC is going out, you're not having to worry about the, you know, power losing. Do you have, I didn't know, do you have a UPS? Like a, universal power supply? So, like, did your computer just go out immediately, or did you have time to, like, save everything when it went down? Because that used to be a bit of a problem for me, but now I have, like, a little backup power that I can somewhat reasonably use to like shut everything down first. It is weird because the one time I've had to use it, all but one of my monitors went down, so I had to spend a good 5 minutes just like making sure everything was closed out correctly because it was still because I have it set up so if one of my monitors goes off, they don't. Yeah, I've had a UPS for a few years. Okay, that's good. That's good. I just didn't know if you had one yet or not. Because I only got one like very recently, I think. What was it, like a few years? Like last year, I think, is when I finally got one. I should have had one for a while. I had always had a surge protector, you know, and I used to have a USB, but it wasn't an actual working one. It was this old one I got from, like, my grandmother. She had it left over from her old office after they were clearing it out, and she just had it around her house forever, and so I grabbed it, but it was basically just a bulky surge protector. I think you might remember it. I had it, like, back when we were rooming together, back in high school. It was like that super large, heavy surge protector. The battery was long since dead. Like completely dead, like no hope of recharging, kind of dead. But it was a decent surge protector and highly, you know, good, really well-rated surge protector at least. But it's only recently I finally got like a new UPS. Although I did have to send mine back because it started emitting this weird, like, chemical spell whenever I turned it on, which was deeply disturbing. So I, you know, immediately sent it back and they were like, yeah, we'll take that. Never found out what it was doing, but it probably wasn't doing anything good for my health, so. Archer of the Phase Pact. I'm guessing this is like a Warlock archery set of books. So I guess we put them with the Archer stuff. Let's see. This is Drawing Magic. Where is the Archery? Compendium Axes and Spears. Is Archery over here? We never roomed together in high school. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I was rooming with Grant back in high school. And I think I got rid of it by the time we were rooming together in college. Because I think I had normal surge protector by the time we were in college. That's right. Sorry about that. Also, that's the wrong shelf. Completely incorrect. Whoop. So yeah, I don't think you ever saw that thing. It was like this really bulky kind of UPS, but again, it was just a backup battery by the time I actually got my hands on it. I really should be using that, but I'm kind of want to actually remember where shit is. Alright, so 2B, yes, this is right here. Oh, this is where all the archery stuff is. There we are. There we go. Honestly, the spells have, like, really sped things up. Now that I have all the the freaking... When you're trying to line up the book, and it's like, nope, sorry, stuff right here. The thing is, I also have the magic on, like, really low cooldown now. So I can essentially just, like, spam the spells. Like, by the time I finish moving a book, I have the auto-grab everything back online. And I can just go. So this has turned into, like... I will say, the auto-grabber spell is, like, maybe a bit disruptive to the gameplay pattern. Like, don't get me wrong, as, like, like a tool for, like, sorting books, it is very useful, but I do feel like the fact that you can grab an entire stack worth kind of prevents you from, like, paying as much attention to what books you're grabbing, especially when combined with, like, the fast recharge time on being able to identify the shelf it goes to. So now I feel like I'm mostly just, like, idling. I am still trying to look around, though, while I'm doing this for the keys for the remaining 2 chests, because I am curious what the minor magics are. Alright, we've got more level up here. Honestly, getting assembly to max is probably the way to go if you're going for a speed run. Auto shelve. See, I feel like auto shelve is just going to remove, like, the little bit of enjoyment I have left. I think I'm just going to go for shelf guide, because I want to be able to identify the shelf really quickly. But, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, right. So, I've been working on some stuff still, though. I have the review mostly done. I'm gonna, like, export that and look over it and make sure everything's good. I will probably have it out soon. I'm not gonna do a date because this week has been freaking chaotic. I was supposed to finish it this weekend, but I had a bunch of family over for the 4th of July, and they were here all weekend, all the way through, like, late into Sunday, and even on Monday they were here. So I was just, like, there was just too much family stuff going on. I had, like, no time to work on it. While I was outside, though, kind of just chilling, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and, like, you know, be social-ish, and I did talk to people, but I also kind of, like, typed and sort of idly wrote on some stuff in a Google Doc, and I transferred it to Librarian documents, and that's how I eventually, okay, where is this supposed to go? Oh, over here. And that's how I got that, the Voices of Peace done, which I'm glad you liked. I wasn't sure, because I was kind of, like, tuning it up a bit before I sent it to you late at night, because I had written a decent chunk of it while outside, just kind of thinking about it, because I had World of Darkness on the brain, as per usual, and I was like, hey, you know, wouldn't this be cool if we had these, like, pacifist mages who had, like, this, like, you know, they have, like, oath magic and mind manipulation stuff, and they're very into, like, establishing peace as, like, their paradigm, is that they believe peace is, like, an intrinsic part of humanity, that we are not violent creatures, we are peaceful creatures. And part of it was actually due to one of the Burger Creek inspired things. So there was this Marauder in his, like, Marauder and Nafandi video that he thought up, which is, like, this Russian mage who believes that all humans and human creations are inherently soulless, and she's actually, like, an animal soul, right? So she's not human, she's an animal soul, and I'm like, you know, if she believes, like, humans are inherently soulless, wouldn't it be, and, like, there were a few other things, right, like, paradigms that believe humans are, like, inherently have no impulse control or whatever, and I was like, what if there was a group of mages who believed that humanity was inherently peaceful, and it was outside influence? That comic I sent you was hilarious. Like, this is not financially viable. There's no way you would do something this stupid and this non-financially viable. So you obviously must not be doing it. Ergo, you cannot be mucking me right now. Be gone. It's like it's like a technomancer conjuring banishing, but they're doing it because they're rationalizing this must be just like a vivid hallucination they're having because there's no way they could actually be attacking them. I'm just like, Syndicate may just be scary, man. Syndicate may just be scary. I don't care what people say. They're terrifying. Alright, so this is a researcher of party tactics. I know there's an adventuring shelf. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There it is. Alright. But, yeah, that was a great... I liked that one. I liked that one a lot. It's a good comic. Is it actually World of Darkness, or was it only completely unrelated, and World of Darkness just fits because Mage can fit into basically any setting? I swear, Mage might be one of... actually, and the more I play other stuff and, like, have World of Darkness on the brain, the more I think Mage might be one of... unrelated to what? Okay, cool. It's just so on the nose, right? And the more I play, or the more I research and, like, work on World of Darkness stuff, right? The more I am convinced that WoD is the most versatile system I have ever seen. Like, not even just, like, a TTRPG system, but as, like, a fantasy rule set. The idea of the way it does paradigms and sorcery allows it to fit into almost any setting. Just legitimately. Combine that with, like, Umbral Realms and essentially any contemporary setting with even a remote supernatural element can fit really easily into WoD. Because you could be a fae, or a vampire, or a werewolf, and you could just have, like, weird rules or whatever, or you're wrong about your rules because people not understanding the rules is the whole thing. But when it comes to, like, not stuff that does not fall into those categories, because, you know, oftentimes the vampires might not operate exactly like World of Darkness, even though they are pretty varied. Unless you are directly connected to one of those, like, other book categories, though, you can really easily fall into Mage. And even a lot of the other categories, like Wraiths or Ghosts, for example, often are close enough that it's like, eh? I mean, really? The other day, I was actually had a whole thing with Danny Phantom, where I'm like, oh my god, the Observers and Clockwork are just paradox spirits. Because their whole thing is casting judgment on ghosts, and to, like, other reality deviants, essentially, that aren't a feng shui. Reading dragon veins and increasing luck. I don't want somebody to rip on my veins and read them like auguries. That's gross. Gross. Don't read my veins like auguries. But yeah, it's like they're paradox spirits. They punish you for breaking the rules. Clockwork is literally punishing him for time travel shenanigans. Because he knows that his future self is going to come back in time, and this whole thing is a punishment to this alternate timeline version of him to help him rethink his life and to make better choices. And it's so in line with how punishment, like, you know, how paradox spirits operate. The entire alternate enemy arc is literally Old Wrinkly, the time paradox spirit. Fucking different kingdoms do work on different rules. Exactly. So it's sort of like how, like, the mummies have a specter, right? They have, like, a shadow, one of, like, their pieces of the soul, but it operates completely differently from an Eastern shadow. It's really interesting. So it's also a very versatile setting for anything with a ghost in it. And I was just thinking about how, like Clockwork is, like, directly parallels a known and somewhat frequent paradox spirit in Old Wrinkly. He even turns into a decrepit old man as one of his, like, 3 life stage things. Like, it's so accurate. And I don't think it's intentional, because it's definitely not intentional, because Danny Phantom was drawing out on a ton of other stuff. But it's also just, like, so insane how neatly it maps onto so many different things. It may be one of the most versatile settings I have ever encountered. Just in the level of things it's able to do, because it's able to pull off the low magic world with, like, heavy paradox rules, right? It's able to pull off that by having, like, areas that are very technocratic influence, right? Areas where magic is hard and difficult and rare and subtle. But it's also able to do high magic settings because you have, like, Horizon Realms or Sanctums run by, like, the fucking Hermetics. I mean, again, like, the other day I was hearing somebody talking about, like, how Harry Potter is basically just, like, an experiment by the Hermetic Order to get, like, an underground secret society of wizards as a thing in Britain. You know? And like, they just go after really young, awakened kids to fill their ranks. It's, oh man, there was this entire fanfic I found recently, because I've been going to look for World of Darkness fanfiction. There weirdly isn't a ton of it for Mage. there really isn't a lot for Mage, which, I mean, it's fair, right? Like, people want to do their own story in Mage, they're just going to play a game, right? But I really do wish there was more fanfic stuff, because I am a big fanfic enjoyer, right? But I was reading one of them, and it was a Harry Potter crossover, and the whole gimmick was that Harry awakened as a kid. Because, like, the implication is that the sorcery rules are, if you are descendant of a mage, then you can perform, like, sorcery magic, but you can perform, like, way more intricate magic. And they kind of teach both at Hogwarts, but, you know, in a subtle kind of wanted dead or alive, stupid fairy, reward employee of the year. Nice. Wanted dead or alive. The fairy is wanted dead and alive, kids. You know what? He forced Merlin to lock me in here. I mean, I guess Merlin did that because he was a dick, but still. And I was like reading it, and it's like, oh my god, it's like, it works so perfectly. One of the fun ones of that one too was that apparently in that fanfiction, Harry got picked up by the Sahajiya when he awakened. So he was a time sphere expert who had an actual bong as his focus. And the whole thing was, he's like, oh man, I have to go. The Hermetics apparently have me involved in like this seer of theirs gave this prophecy, and okay, fine, I'll go to the school, whatevs. And he's going to Dumbledore, who is like an actual awakened mage in this canon. And he has this whole internal monologue about how he's like, oh gosh, the Hermetics and all their like bullshit about like hierarchy and shit. And he's like, okay, so tradition rules. All right, fine. Master Dumbledore, because he's like, all right, like I'm not a huge fan of the Hermetics, but I also don't hate them, and I gotta respect him for being a master of his craft. He's like a master of the matter sphere. So, you know, tradition rules. You respect people for the masteries they have, right? It's great. The story is not complete. It's only a few chapters, but what little is there is very interesting and fun. It's definitely on the level of like a crack fic. It's not trying to be super serious or anything. It really isn't. But it's a lot of fun, and it reminds you of just how interesting and enjoyable this world can be when you really just embrace the zaniness. I'm gonna Astro Trick, rips a Valk. He does that in the middle of a meeting with Dumbledore. It's hilarious. He actually does that. He astrally projects through time. It's a whole thing in the middle of a meeting with a bong. It's great. It's fantastic. It's unhinged in a way fanfiction really uniquely can be, right? Like, I get that other stuff can be that unhinged, but one of the strengths of fanfiction is that it doesn't need to justify its wackier elements. It can just say, hey, you've read this thing? Okay, so what if this thing was even more unhinged than you might imagine? What if it was completely off its rocker? I don't have to explain shit because the show already did it for me. It's a great example of how using other works to springboard ideas can result in so much fun. I honestly think fanfiction is one of the reasons I'm so in favor of a lower copyright, you know, a lower range of copyright time period. Because I've seen how interesting people can be when they have access to other people's work and they're allowed to iterate on it. The iteration of other people's work results in some of those interesting and varied stories I have ever encountered. Oh, we got the Book of Spells about fluids, everybody. Which is different from the water spells. Wait. Oh my god, I just realized this. There's an entire spell series that's different from fluids, but different than water. So this is specifically all the non-water fluids. This is literally, it's not on, I think there's also a blood magic book, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this is literally just like other fluids aside from blood and water. But yeah, World of Darkness is a fantastic setting, and it's I will say the Voices of Peace have really inspired me. I need to make a few more things, but I'm slowly iterating on the book. I've continued to iterate on it, and it's something I think I could do in a reasonable amount of time. It has briefly derailed me from other stuff, but it's also I've got the spark, right? I've got that spark of inspiration. I can't stop writing it, and I want to write before that spark dries up. So I am writing it when I get a chance. I've written a few more into it. I actually posted a slightly upgraded version with some more rotes. I actually gave them a really cool route too. There's this anti-magic thing that you can do in Mage, where you harden reality and essentially lock reality into the current consensus, which prevent people from casting. And I had, so like, since they're pacifists, right? Counter magic, I implied, is one of their things. They're big into mental magic and counter magic. So mind and prime are their two biggest spheres. And the thing that they do, right? Because, it makes sense, right? They're two of the traditions that helped found them were the fallouts from the Akashayana and the Celestial Chorus. So prime and mind worked pretty well. It also works well for just the flavor of what I'm having them do, which is good. But the main thing is that I essentially gave them an amped up version of this, where once they have either Mind 3 or Mind 4, I'm still going back and forth on whether it should be either or both, you can amplify the effect, and you essentially get to not only lock down, like, make it hard, essentially cast, like, an ongoing counter field, right? That counterspell stuff and people try and cast it, but it also reduces the amount of arete people have. And it's a powerful ability, but it's indiscriminate, so it affects everyone in the area, and it also prevents the mage who casts it from moving or taking any actions at all. So you essentially give up your ability to act in exchange for putting an end to all the violence. Essentially a children, shut the fuck up and listen button. It literally just like forces you to stand still and hold the world tightly in place and lock down the mind effects. Now, I did balance it a bit. One of the balancing things I did was, okay, if you're going to be able to do this, it should be a high level mind effect, so 3 or 4, and because that's when you can start impressing effects on other people's brains. I'm still leaning towards 4, actually, dots in mind to be able to use it, because it's pretty powerful. And you need amount of prime. I did the prime 2 plus, which there's a whole plus thing I used based off the anti-magic, so I'm referencing that as like a basis for the spell. So you can find like the anti-magic effects there. And the arete reduction is based on the number of successes that you get when you roll it, and also your maximum arete. So your arete roll, essentially your maximum amount of arete, is the most you can lock down. So if you're only like an arete 3 or 4 and you manage to get the spell off, and you do succeed on it, and you get decent you have enough prime to really lock it down. Does AoE require any it does. AoE requires 1 or more correspondence. I did limit the correspondence range. I think I limited it to like a maximum of 3, because it's only able to affect up to a medium to large building. I think I specifically said like a skyscraper. Like a skyscraper-sized chunk of the world. So you can go like pretty high up, and you can even make it pretty big, like a decently sized building, but it can only be like about a few blocks in any given direction. It's a limited size area, I feel like. I think I might have said a bit larger at one point. Essentially, there's also a secondary cost as well, where although reality does like, consensus being met, doing this more than once in the same location without like several days, or a stadium, wide or high. Yeah, I might add in a continuum like that, like a stadium or a skyscraper, like wide or high. But reality really doesn't like this. Like, it's not technically vulgar if you set it up ahead of time, because you can make the effect last for a period of time if you have, if you have like you do it as a ritual ahead of time. Doing it in the middle of combat, I added some more downsides to it, because quick casting this is like hell of a thing, and doing it with multiple people as a ritual in preparation is generally better. It also lets you move, because if you don't quick cast it, you can actually move around while you're maintaining the spell, as long as you cast it ahead of time as like a ritual or with other people. But the other main issue with it is that you should basically not be able to do it more than twice with increased difficulty in the same area without several days in between. This is basically, there's an ongoing like firefight in the middle. The technocrats and the traditions are at war, and they've started a gang war in the middle of the streets. And this is the voice of peace coming in and saying, shut the fuck up, children. We're going to have a civilized discussion about this. No hypertech lasers, no magic slinging, none of that nonsense. We are going to discuss this like reasonable adults and come to a rational understanding I have the talkie stick, and I shall pass it to who has the turn. Yes, Mr. Technocrat, you may have the talkie stick. Oh. But I love it as a spell. It's just, it's a very, like, peaceful thing to do, right? To shut down the magic temporarily. It also, in keeping with them, it also does not destroy familiars, although it might force them to leave the area. And it doesn't damage magical artifacts, although it does render them inert, or at least it forces them to comply with the laws of the consensus that the reality is hardening to for the time. Any of these mages hanging out in Spy's Demise on the net? Probably. Oh my god! Yes! That is an excellent idea. Thank you. Do you mind if I grab that? I forgot about Spy's Demise. That would be a great place, because a few of them are tech mages, and Correspondence is one of their spears, because, like, one of their tertiary spears, right? Or secondary spears. Prime and Mind, the thing with them is they have a lot of spears, because they're made from, like, a lot of different mages who have different paradigms, but who all inherently allow their paradigm to let them believe that peace is inherent to humankind, and that they are the voices of peace, right? They're part of this organization. They understand reality is malleable, but they are willing to put their differences in that regard aside to enable peace. But yes, Spy's Demise. Oh my gosh, yes, that'll be a great place. I could talk about a few of them. Act in yeah, because Spy's Demise is a neutral ground. I might have like a little subset of the Technomancers, who are like virtual adept styles, right? Who go on like the cyberspace binge. And I might have them, you know, host meetings, host like peace meetings for cyber mages in Spy's Demise. They might be like, I could have them be like, you know, not like the owners, because Spy's Demise is like, you know, a neutral ground, but like they're like arbiters. People go to them to set up meetings in Spy's Demise so they can like, you know, they can like oversee the diplomatic meeting. They can be the neutral party. That would be great. I also gave them some interesting dynamics with Marauders and the Disparate Alliance. Nefandi they're actually pretty similar to other things with Nefandi, because their oath does make an exception for inverted ones. The Nefandi are antithetical to peace because they have forsaken their human soul. They have forsaken, you know, the wholeness of ascension, and thus they are not peaceful beings, and that therefore their oath of peace does not require them to be non-lethal. The issue with this, right, is that I did include a thing about how, even though they are allowed to use lethal force against Nefandi, they are generally ill-equipped, because when you've spent several decades, like, operating under a literal inability to cause lethal harm, you're not generally going to have guns or even lethal spells. Exactly. Nefandi are seen as, like, absolute enemies. They are not to be underestimated with. I did flirt with them, maybe trying to redeem them, but I think that the voice of the peace would just see the Nefandi as irredeemable. Like, humans who have actively forsaken peace, right? The Nefandi, because their origin story is tied with the one, with the wholeness of Ascension. So tying them as like an enemy of the Nefandi, even more so than most other traditions, or crafts, or even the technocracy, just seems very in line. Because they would see the affront of the inverted avatar as just such a horrible thing. Memory transfer, the technique of direct scene depiction from your brain. Do we really need 10 volumes? I mean, I guess, yeah, they're fair. There are a lot of different ways you could, like, show people memories. You got pensives and telepathy and all sorts of fun stuff. So that's fair. However, they are not the same way with Marauders. So Marauders are pitied by the Voices of Peace, and even like treated. The Voices of Peace do not seek the death of Marauders, and Marauders, for as mad as they are still have an intact avatar in order to perform their magic. They do, and thus they are peaceful beings. Now, granted, there is leeway for banishing them to Umbral Realms. That is something they do on occasion. But their main goal with Marauders is healing. There is a coalition led by a powerful Archmage, who I still need to think of a name for, who is trying to develop treatments for the Marauders to bring them back. Because this is a derangement, right? It's a madness that is inherently mental to an extent, or spiritual. You know, tied to the prime and spirit and mind spheres. And they are extremely well versed in the prime and mind spheres and may be able to help the Marauders. They seek to restore the sanity of these beings, to bring them back from the brink. And I gave them a little kind of flare of hope too, where there are rumors that this cabal of powerful, you know, of powerful mind mages have succeeded in part in their goal. There was a marauder who was going mad, and they could tell that he was falling, that he had undergone this deep quiet and something was shifting. And through their mind magics, they detected that he was fraying, that he was soon to fully go mad. And they were able to interrupt the process and bring him back from the near brink of madness. Some even claim that he had just fallen to madness before he was wrenched back. But I left it unclear, right? Can they maybe treat marauders before they happen? Or can they potentially heal newly maddened marauders? They still have not had any success with treating marauders who have already fallen to madness for a while. But it is an ongoing field of research for their group, right? And the reason I think it should be possible is because it is implied that it should be possible for an inverted avatar to be uninverted, right? Like, a Nafandi could theoretically be healed. It's just that anyone who goes down the path of becoming a Nafandi is not the type of person who's gonna have regrets, right? And so I think the kind of deep damage on a similar level, once you become a Marauder, you are too convinced that you are right with no hope of ascension, when one cannot see their shortcomings and improve. So maybe I might add some more to that, which is like, they are helping them regain their shortcomings. Again, though, it's not a project they've had success with. It is an ongoing goal that they believe is possible. And if mages believe something, it can happen. The thing is, it's also dangerous, right? It's dangerous to treat marauders. Even if they found a way to treat them, I mean, like, it's extremely dangerous. That is at least one reading of a marauder, yeah. And again, I made it ambiguous, right? It's an ongoing field of research. There are rumors they've had limited success with people who are maybe becoming a marauder or who have just begun to fall, and they were identified as such. But they haven't had any notable success yet. But they are determined to free these souls from their madness, so they may join them in the echoes of peace. Because they are not hateful beings, right? They are not inverted. They deserve our help, or at the very least, they deserve to be peacefully sent away to the Umbra. They do not believe in killing marauders, is their whole thing, which does set them apart from a lot of other mage groups, right? Because most other mage groups see marauders as just like an unstable risk. Like, yeah, we'll shunt them off to an Umbral realm if possible, but let's be real, their main priority is just getting rid of them, and usually the easiest way to do that is just to kill them. Well, for the less dangerous ones, obviously. I'm leaving that inherently ambiguous, but I do like the idea that their desire for peace means they are unable to just leave these poor souls to rot, right? They're unable to just abandon these maddened souls. It's not their fault they fall into madness, or at least it shouldn't be this harsh of a sentence, right? So there are efforts, but they are unclear if they will ever be successful, and it is a small coterie led by some powerful mind masters in the group and a singular powerful archmage. And the reason I think it might be possible too is because archmages are capable of some insane shit. Like, archmages can do things that just like outright don't make sense, even on a magical level, right? I mean, a master of the prime sphere, an archmage of the prime sphere, can literally create a mini universe, right? A mind mage can literally erase concepts from existence and shit. So again, this is not something like, even if they develop a technique to do it, this would be the kind of technique an archmage would use. They're not your typical mages. And archmages are incredibly rare. Like, I think the in-universe canon has, like, 13 of them or something, or like 4, like, no, not 13, like a few dozen in the entire, like, canon of World of Darkness, for as much as World of Darkness has canon, right? That's still, like, an insanely small number, even among mages. But, yeah. It is an ongoing project I have, and I like it because it sets them apart in a key way in which they interact with a traditionally very antagonistic enemy. It also, if you want to play as this, it also gives the GM a very interesting character they could throw at you, the storyteller, I mean. Because, like, yeah, if you throw in a Fondi at them, you know, they can act lethally. Maybe they don't have lethal magic because they're not really the kind of person who would, you know, develop or utilize lethal magic because they're a pacifist. But they could still shoot them with a gun or something. They might not know how to use a gun, but I mean, point trigger pull, you know. But with the Marauder, it's a lot more complicated all of a sudden, because suddenly, even if this Marauder is incredibly dangerous, and even if their mind magic means that for whatever reason they are shielded from some of the mental effects that Marauders can have, you know, those internal Marauders who cause people to, like, change the way they think around them, a mind mage in the group might be the exact one who is most resistant to a Marauder's effects and might be able to get close enough to deal the killing blow. But if they're a pacifist, suddenly there's a wrinkle there. There's drama. You're suddenly asking for the group to show mercy to this poor mad soul. There's good roleplay opportunities, good conflict with some of the more maybe militaristic members of the group. I just think there's a lot of story potential there if you make them one of the only factions who is not actively hostile to Marauders. I think there is drama to be encountered in such a situation. And I think it adds an interesting wrinkle to their group. It also shows how far they're willing to go for their goals, right? Like, because Marauders are actively dangerous. Agreed, yeah. Marauders are actively dangerous. There's a reason that even the Technocracy does not utilize Marauders who have that kind of, like, destabilizing anti-magic effect. Because they're just too dangerous, too unpredictable. And making yourself someone who advocating for them is a hard ask, but it is an interesting wrinkle for storytelling. And that's why I want the Voices of Peace to be. They should be, you know, because a pacifist mage is inherently going to have moral conflicts in the World of Darkness setting where they're in this world that demands, you know, morally gray action. And having to rationalize their decision to be this very peaceful person, I think could add a lot of depth to the character. It's one of the reasons, like, despite having, like, the Dragon Cult idea, I'm not entirely interested in making the Dragon Cult books. I don't see a lot of stuff that would make them unique yet. I'm still trying to workshop the Dragon Cult idea I had. But the Marauder, the Voices of Peace has so many interesting interactions in the sense that they are, you know, a group made up of mages who have inherently conflicting worldviews. Because they do not, like, distinguish between Technomancers and tradition mages. They don't distinguish between them in crafts. They also have a very interesting distinction with the Disparate Alliance, because on one hand, they agree with the Disparate Alliance, right? They agree that the Technocracy has become very authoritarian in recent years. You know, that's why a lot of their members left. But they also do not agree with how bloodthirsty the Disparates have been. They see them as valid in their criticisms, but the terminology I specifically brought up was the eye for an eye and leaves the whole world blind. And I also brought up the interesting wrinkle that some of the older mages of the group, right, are seeing parallels between the old Order of Reason and the Disparates. Because the Order of Reason was also this, you know, rebelling group of rational-minded mages who saw the tyranny of these traditional sorcerers, right? And how they imposed their worldview upon the innocent, unsuspecting masses, and how they would ruin entire cultures and lives in their rush for power. And now they're on the other end of that stick, right? They've become the Technocracy. They've become the dominant power structure with which to rebel against. And the Disparate Alliance's grievances are very similar to the grievances that the early rational mages of the Order of Reason had. of these mage kings and mage emperors. And now the technocracy is in that position. They're the horrifying, tyrannical empire that is crushing everything in its path and ruining the lives of others for seemingly no gain, like, you know, from their point of view. Now, don't say the technocracy does anything bad. They, like, is inherently bad. A lot of the tech mages have contacts with them still, but they understand the technocracy has gone too far and it needs, like, some intervention. It needs an intervention. It needs to chill its role and come to the table, because it cannot assume that it knows best for humanity. It has to be a collaborative effort. And it cannot just wipe out other mages simply for the crime of being different types of mages, right? It can't just call traditional magic evil just because it's traditional magic, which is a lot of what the technocracy has kind of become over the years. And I think that's interesting. I had them leave before, just around the same time, if not a little bit before, the Aetherites left too. So this was actually a period of schisms in the technocracy that I was kind of integrating them into in World War I. That was like a whole thing too. And you know, they didn't just give up, right? They didn't just give up on the technocracy. They tried so hard to get the technocracy and the traditions to sit down at the table and like talk. You know, like from within. They were like, look, this is too much. We need to stop. We need to just go to the table. All right, we all want what is best for humanity. We can talk through this. And when World War II started brewing, they're like, nope, we can no longer do this. We have our oath. We shall leave. And they started just like trying to do whatever damage control they could. And in recent years, I'm going to have them coming back into more of a forefront as the disparate alliances come back. You know, coming back from the shadows, from their faked deaths, and trying to guide the tradition, the technomancers to the table again. Trying to say, look, we all just need to take a chill pill. We all just need to take a deep breath and, like, chill the fuck out, okay? And I think it puts them in this interesting position of being not on a particular side as much as on the side of humanity. Which allows for a lot of varied play. It's going to allow for a lot of varied play, and I think it's going to have... I'm going to give them, like, a bunch of different rotes for different uses. You can play a lot of different types of voices of peace. The two main people who are going to be a part of the organization are obviously going to be doctors and activists, right? Like politicians who try to do very helpful policies, activists who push for that kind of thing, and doctors, because they often already take an oath of pacifism, right? So that's been good. I'm still trying to decide how I want to have them with the werewolves. I feel like they would have a very frayed relationship with a lot of werewolves, just because werewolves are inherently engines of violence change, and they seek a pacifistic change. I feel like there's going to be some conflict there, and I feel like they definitely run some of the same circles. So, oh man. So yeah, I've been thinking about all of that. I've been putting a lot of. This really did strike me out of nowhere too. It sounds like I put a lot more thought into this than I have. But this, like, struck me out of nowhere on, like, Friday night. With, like, I just had this burst of inspiration while looking at some, like, Storyteller Vault stuff. Like, I was looking at the Tailcraft book, actually. And the template stuff from the Storyteller Vault. I'm like, man, it'd be cool. Like, what kind of thing? Maybe, like, a Peace Mages? And I just had this, like, Jimmy Neutron-style brain blast. It really felt like, I joke a bit, but it actually felt like that. It felt like the equivalent of a Jimmy Neutron style brain blast. And I was like, oh, I gotta get this down. And I just like instantly had all of these thoughts rushing through my brain. It'd be hilarious if this ends up being the first like major written work I finish. Because I feel like I have a lot of it done, unlike the other book idea I have, right? My fiction book. I have a lot of like the plots book points and a lot of the background lore thought up, but the chapter order is still like very murky, and like the actual content that gets you from point A to point F and then F to like J or L is still very flaky in my head. Whereas this, I feel like I feel like I've got their whole vibe. I have rotes for them. I have ideas for foci. I know how they're going to interact. I know how they should be showing up in the modern day. I have a excellent little short for their history, which I wrote in like an hour. I wrote that entire thing in an hour, and it might be one of the better things I've ever written. It definitely needs some editing and some like second drafting, but man, the core of it is so good. And thank you for telling me that it was really good. I cannot stress enough how much that little comment of almost made me cry or whatever, like really, really, really felt good. It really felt good because I wasn't entirely sure if this was like an entirely fleshed out idea, because again, I had the idea for it on Friday. I kind of scribbled some stuff out during like one of the hours where I was outside hanging with my family, in between talking with people, right? Out by the pool. And I was just like, no problem, Bob. And I was just like, and then I was just like, man, I should probably send this to Frederick and see what he thinks. And you replying that you thought it was pretty good, like, seriously, felt amazing, and thank you for that. I, again, cannot stress enough how much that actually meant to me. It was insane. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this. I've also been working on some drawing stuff, and I'm working on getting you a PNG tuber for your little snake for our Magic the Gathering stream we're going to have next week. So that's going to be fun. Maybe the key is up in one of these? I'm trying to see if, like, maybe the key is up in one of these, because they have these little cages above the books. Feels like there could be something in there. No, not that one either. Nope. Okay. Well, we're making good progress, though. We made... Oh, wow. We have made... I think we've gone like 500 books in a few minutes. I'm grabbing my commander deck and my pauper decks. Anything else? I think that should be fine for like a 2-hour, 3-hour stream. Like, pauper... We can play a few games of pauper. I'm going to have 2 different pauper decks, I think. I'm going to have Bogles and... my... Oh, God. Sliver deck. Right. What command... You're bringing your... I'm guessing you're bringing your Sphinx deck, right? I might want to try the Sphinx deck against my Arcades deck, if that's alright. Just because I want to see how the Sphinx deck plays against the Arcades deck, maybe. I feel like your Sphinx deck really is kind of bracket 2, bracket 3. It probably is more bracket 3. The problem is I don't think you play that many game changers. How many game changers are even in the Sphinx deck? Do you have a chess set? Yeah, I'm nearly positive. I'm 99% sure we have a chess set. I can double check if you want after I'm done with streaming, but I'm 99% sure we have a chess set. I'll double check, but again, I'm like nearly positive we have one. Alright. One right guess in 100 makes you a... Wait! One right guess in 100 makes you a seer. I got some fast man in the Sphinx deck. Okay. Do you have like game changers though, specifically? Because I know there are some fast manas that are, but I'm not sure if like which ones are game changers or not. One guess in 100. I guess this is like, hey, seers, you only need to get like one prophecy out of 100 attempts and you'll have like yourself a seer reputation. Then again, it worked for that seer lady in Harry Potter, or whatever her name is. Man of all this. Okay, so you're probably like a bracket 3 deck. Alright. I have a wide variety, so don't worry. I have decks from like, I think every bracket except one. I might have a bracket 1 deck, technically, 1 or 2. I'd have to check some of my older decks. They'd be probably be older decks that I had that were like already low power that I never upgraded. But like I think I mostly have like a few 2s, 1 or 2. I think I have like 2 or 3 2s because I have a few unupgraded commander precons. I have several 3s and I have a few 4s. If I had to guess what my 4s were, I would probably say they were my Sliver deck because that can go off turn 3 and it can be very nasty if you don't have removal for the stuff immediately. It's the kind of deck that can just like insta win the game turn 3 or 4 if you're not paying attention to it. It's like auto threat the table kind of thing. I have my Turgid deck, which is probably a 4 just because like it is a deck. It has very fast mana, and if you do not deal with Turgid, you will die. You will die. Turgid will murder you. Or, well, Turgid will rob you blind and then use the stuff you gave her to murder you. She doesn't really need to murder you herself. Turgid might be just 4 because people really don't like playing against it. Less so than it actually being 4 power. I feel like it's probably higher in 3, but a lot of people I've talked to say it's a 4. Just because of how nasty it is if you get even a single activation of it off. It's the kind of deck that requires everyone at the table to have removal, because if Turgid untaps with any cards in hand, it just wins the game on the spot. The Abyss of Tarot. Book of Symbols and Intuition. Hi, hi, hi! Dawn Seeker! Good to see you, my old friend. How are you doing this fine day? We are sorting the library so Merlin will let us the hell out of here. Also, we have some fun games coming up soon. Oh my gods, we have some fun games. But yeah, so we have Dino Blade, and I have the Through Blood and Dragons. I have 2 dragon games. I am actually going to play Dragon Kisser. I know it's a parody, and it's really weird for me to play it, but I already played a dragon dating sim, so it can't be been lurking while playing Internet Chat. Oh, so you are a second viewer. Good to see. Good to see. Always nice to hear. I love it when you show up, even if you're just lurking, man. I see you. I see a second person there, so I'm like, wonder who it is. But yes, I am all seeing. I see the exact number of people. A Kiss Rotten Spells. We got all the love. We got all of these goddamn romance books. So many, like, a romance section. Like, honestly, even a Magic library is going to have an insane romance section. I still remember the romance section at Barnes & Noble. It's really large. It was really large. I had to stock it a few times. Some of the titles really made me rethink my life. Like, the fuck is going on with the world? I don't know why, I don't know why the horniness of mankind continues to surprise me, but it did back then. But I'm waiting for Nevernest to Evernest to finish updating, so there is a new update. Alright, that's cool. Well, if you're waiting on something, you can also do a free game. There's a game called Dragon Kisser, where you basically play, like, a rooster version of Donkey from Shrek. There's a dragon that's attacking a town, and you've decided the best way to subdue it is to romance it. That is the actual story of the game. And the dragon's horns are shaped like a heart, because of course they are. Let's see. Psychology of using strong language from a safe zone. Power 1.0! Yes, yes, it is here, everyone. It is here! Oh, man, it's gonna be fun. Also, the next Thursday, we're gonna be having a fun stream, actually. So, I'm probably going to be... Hopefully I finish up this tonight, right? Which I think we might be able to. I think we're making good progress here, so I think we might be able to finish this up tonight. And if we do, we will be doing Dragon Kisser. I think I'll probably be doing Dragon Kisser on Thursday. And then next Tuesday, I'll be doing Through Blood and Dragons Dragon Wars, so I can at least, like, I want to read the book, or the first book, over the weekend. And so I can, you know, get caught up in some of the lore. So I actually understand what's going on to an extent, right? And if all goes well, we will do that on next Tuesday a bit. And then on Thursday next week, we will be having a stream where me and Coding Assembly are going to meet IRL, and we're going to stream some Magic the Gathering, because that card game stream we did a while back did pretty well. And it's all C's coming in. We're going to have like a whole week basically to ourselves. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see him again, because I love when we meet up. But yeah, it's gonna be great. And I actually have some cool stuff too, because I think I might be able to deal with the glare. A while back, during this like birthday thing, I got these soft light lights They're sort of like my little ones that I use for streaming, but they're good for like, you got the thumbnail for the card game stream. I don't yet. I'm going to draw it this weekend. I'm trying to finish up the Amazing Digital Circus stuff during this week. And over the weekend, I am working on both your little PNG tuber, which is a little snake. I actually even have some guide specifically about snakes. You'll be so proud of me. Even through my phobia, I'm doing it. And I do want to draw you a snake PNG, because I think it's going to be cute. And I'm drawing like a little basic one for myself too, for our profile pics. I've even found like some like overlay stuff and some plugins for OBS. I actually have a 15-foot Ethernet cord, King Snake. Yeah, just let me know if you want any specific details. I know you have like your design for your your character. I know what that looks like. But if you have any specific things you want, right? Why do stocks crash the moment I buy them? This is a book from real life right here. Wait, this magical world has a stock market? Oh, it's hilarious. Let's go with it, sure. The little fucking emoticon. But yeah, if you have any little details, like do you want him to have a hood, or do you want him to have like a little king crown? I might even do a GIF emote if I have time, but that's like after I have them ready, and I might be able to do a GIF emote. So if you want that, let me know. But yeah, it's a whole thing, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna try and have stuff ready for you guys. New banner character for NTE is a dragon girl named Shinku. Oh, dude, shit! Post that shit in the live stream chat. Let's see. Ah, it's the Japanese version of Dragon Girl. Okay, never mind. Less interest. I mean, it's still cute. You know, it's still cute. The tail is pretty cool. Like the coloration. Get that nice dark red, you know, purplish color. Very nice. But suit and tie is the best. Business neck. Okay, so give him the little collar with like the little tweed jacket kind of thing. Gotcha. Little tweed suit. Okay. Nice. I mean, still pretty cool. Look, I just prefer like dragons. Like, don't get me wrong, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid was nice and all, but like, you know. Anyway. Moving on from there. No, that's a more Western dragon. Eastern dragons have fur on their tails. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. I was more saying the Japanese in the sense of like the stylized like humanoid dragon. Like the whole thing where like it's a human dragon with like the tail and the wings sticking out is a bit more of a Japanese thing for like depicting female dragons. I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've done humanoid dragons, but usually they're able to like fully transform into humans and they don't have like the wings and tails still sticking out. That's more of a Japanese, like an anime thing, right? More of an anime, stylized thing. Reducing metamorphosis time, how to minimize vulnerability. Oh, that's a cool book. So it's like, if you're good at shapeshifting magic, it's how you like minimize your time. It is a dragon girl. What did you expect, Ramble? Girl's gonna look like Ramble? You know, or Nerdo, you know. Either way. Then again, you should see Twitter sometimes. They have yeah, that's a thing. That one, to be fair, they give them boobs for some reason. I have no idea why, because it's reptiles. But whatevs. It's fantasy, who cares? Oh. Yeah. That is a thing too. Thank you, Code and Assembly, for reminding us all. Minor repairs, practical everyday magic. See, the practical everyday magic, I probably wouldn't study like destruction magic, conjuring storms. If I could study at wizard school, I'd be studying like practical day-to-day magic, like life hack magic, or like, you know, 3-second teleportation to get to the office, time magic to make the most of every second, you know, brooms so I could just fly to work, 1,000 easy spells around the house, random niche Zentrea, who is a Dragon VTuber. I think I've seen her on Twitter actually a few times. She uses text-to-speech to speak. Like old text-to-speech or like new AI text-to-speech? Because there is a pretty substantial difference between the two. Not even that the AI is bad, it's just like, one of them is like a remotely higher, like, quality, weirdly enough. Oh, this is not the right shelf for these. That's why this is wrong. We gotta do some redoing here. There we go. At least not the type of people who play gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Well, we do have this whole series for. I don't know why I shelved this here. Why on earth did I shelve this here? This is like a non-fiction, like, tactics book. Used to be the old version, she's upgraded since then. Okay. So she's been around for a while, is what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, Gotcha tends to go for the cute anime girls with dragon wings and tails. But that's like demographic thing, right? You know, you're going for that anime moe vibe, right? Or even if you're not going for the moe vibe, you're going for, like, the anime, aesthetic. Fucking fairy. Not how I expected the fairy to look, but the fae do take many forms. Magical creatures and their spells. Ooh, a whole spellbook series about... They made this book out of dragon leather, didn't they? Yeah, you can fucking tell. Ew, I'm holding a book made out of my own skin, my species' skin. See, I don't mind as much like the human skin books. The dragon leather books are a bit, ooh. Those are a bit morbid for me. Those are a bit morbid for me. That's why I'm so confused as to your reaction when I mentioned the new character was a dragon girl. I was mostly playing it up for effect, to be fair. I had pretty much expected it was going to be like that anyway. I was mostly playing it up for effect. Then again, I have seen some feral dragon stuff on Twitter and Blue Sky. Oh gods. Some of those poses are very, very, very lewd for something that is, like, definitely not human. Holy shit. Twitter without the not safe for work filter is like a hell of a place. Even if you don't actively look for that kind of stuff, if you just look for dragon art, it will just show up randomly. Man. But I do find a lot of cool art on Twitter. So honestly, the only reason I go to Twitter nowadays is to scroll through new art. And the moment it stops being art posts, I turn it off. I actually save a lot of them as, like, reference images, because I always want to, like, find them again. I can't, even when I favorite them, because I have a lot of favorited images. So I go through, like, a lot of different stuff on there. And it's really cool. There's just so many great artists out there. And whenever I'm in need of a good pick-me-up to, like, get me to, like, do more stuff, I weirdly check out Twitter or Blue Sky for more art. And it immediately sets me, like, a fire in me again to go do more stuff. Because it's just, there's so many cool things, you know? So many wonderful, amazing pieces of art to see that can, like, really spark inspiration. There was this one that was like a dragon silhouetted by a lightning, that was like a lightning bolt, and the lighting was really nice. And I'm like, you know what? I need to work on my lighting. And I still have that, like, marked down to work on some lighting stuff. And I have it set up so whenever I turn on Windows again, a bunch of the tabs where they're still open pop up. And the benefit of this is that it immediately reminds me, all right, we got to do those. And every once in a while, I'll go do another one of them. I also did a new drawing exercise recently where I was doing a lot of perspective rectangular prisms, essentially. So a lot of 3D, you know, rectangular cubes, like door shapes, essentially, from like dozens of different perspectives without any preparation. I just had like a single focus point, just made a bunch of them. Update finished now to see if they're done with maintenance. Oh, right, because you log in and then the maintenance. Yeah, I had that a few times. I remember when the what was it, like, wasn't Souls. What game was it that, like, I really wanted to play one time and the servers were down for maintenance? I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't play a lot of online games, so it should be easy to remember, but I don't remember what it was. But they were like, I had this, like, free time before I had to go do something else. And the entire day, they were basically on maintenance for this one game. And I was so disappointed. Alright, I've unlocked all the major magic now. I still haven't found the keys. I have 2 more keys, but I haven't found them yet. And I've cleared off a lot more of the stuff, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, where are the remaining keys? I feel like one of them has to be within reach of, like, the jumping move. But I've gone to all, like, the highest places, and I don't seem to see where they could be. Oh, well. But no, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. Especially let me know about Pal World, because I have a lot going on over, like, the next, like, 2 weeks. Just, like, so much stuff to do. For, like, 1,000 different directions. From working on that NeoCities homepage thing still, to working on the PNG tubers, working on the thumbnail for Amazing Digital Circus, working on the Amazing Digital Circus, working on getting everything ready for the stream with the card games, making sure I have all the stuff I need for that ready to go. Just like I have like a bunch of different things I'm working on at the moment, which is why everything has gotten a little bit screwy. Combine that with the holiday, kind of knocking me out of my rhythm even more so than I already was. Everything has just been in chaos lately. But I've been still doing stuff, which is why I don't feel bad about it, because I'm still working on a lot of different cool things to do, right? And I have a lot of stuff to show for all the work I've been doing. For example, that document, right, with the Voices of Peace. I've got the ideas for the stream. I've got the OBS layers, and I've been working on some other stuff. I also even found a bit of time to continue working on 3D model, because I was just like, I need to get away from some of the other stuff that I was doing that was burning me out, or I didn't have like a ton of time aside to like get Blender open on Linux, try and like move some of that stuff over, because I haven't really worked on it a ton since I got Rocky set up fully, because I had to move all the files over and get the older version of Blender. It was this whole thing. And I think I got the basic structure of the internal mouth done. And I might try and use this very geometric rough version I have at the moment as a test case for mouth movement and stuff. Because I think I have like an actual mouth now, even if I don't have teeth or eyes on it. And I might add an eyeball and just try and use this very rough one as an early testing model, so I can figure out some of the like the weird stuff with it, right? And then if that works out, I can like smooth this out with some sculpting. Hopefully. We'll see. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will work out, and I'm getting better at using Blender. I have not been working on that for a bit, just because I've had a bunch of other things. And working on a VTuber when I have like a fairly recent 3D one, even if I would like to do more with it, and having having all these other projects I need to work on, from the NeoCities page to the stories I would like to write, to just different random ideas that pop into my head. I'm sorry. ADHD really is showing here. I can't stop it. Oh man. Oh my god, my head got stuck. Oh, there it goes. My ADHD really is showing at the moment, because I'm flitting from one thing to the next with a reckless abandon. But I can't help it. My brain latches onto things and just won't stop. Oh man, and on top of all of this, I'm still, like, not the last 2 weeks, but I'm still technically preparing stuff for the TTRPG game. Man, the moment I finish Magnus, I'm gonna have so much more time, because I'm still preparing stuff for the TTRPG game, for the Magnus archives, for my players. I've spoken with one of my other players who's got his, like, the last player who's got a story mission, and I'm working on getting the sculptor done. I am working on so many things. I think I've spent half this stream just listing all the different projects I'm doing. Holy shit, how do I sleep? How am I sleeping? Because I've been getting sleep lately. How am I sleeping with all this to do? I have too much on my plate. I need to stop getting new projects at this point. Like, this is just becoming unhealthy. I can't help myself sometimes. I just like, I see something or hear something or get an idea in my head and my brain just takes over, right? And begins to like pump out ideas and it won't focus on something else. And so I get those ideas down and next thing you know, I spent like 3 hours working on some random document or working on something I haven't worked on in like 2 weeks, even though I needed to work on it like a few days ago. And it's distracting me from the other project I need to do right this freaking second. Oh. My brain is a chaotic place. It has a structure and an order to it, but it is an order only the mad can truly understand. Born of the dark desires of a brain that is never at rest. So too does it flit from idea to idea, concept to concept, always seeking, always knowing, always viewing, always doing. And thus I am never at peace and never at rest. There is always another project, always another idea, always a story to read, something to express or get down, a drawing or image that's stuck in my head that needs to get out. Ugh. There's a sort of like wondrous experience to it though. I don't know how else to describe it, but I feel so happy and at the same time a bit stressed out. Like, yeah, it's stressful at times, and I've had people ask me like, why do you do this to yourself? And I'm like, because there's just this unrelenting joy I get. This high when the project is started or finished, or like I reach a major milestone, and I have sought that every day since I have like first truly experienced it. And recent year, I can't wait till I don't have to worry about going to bed on times. Oh my god, yes. Yeah, like 100%. Well, and for me, it's like, it's not even that, it's just like, I used to be able to do more because my work is very stop and start and wait, you know? It's like a job where I'm often waiting to do things. And when we were allowed to bring our own laptops to work, I used to be able to get a lot of like smaller, shorter burst stuff done as a side thing while I'm waiting for the next task or waiting to hear back on this email, you know? Because our work is very reactionary. But ever since they're like, no, you can't have your laptop with you, I can still do drawing, right, while I'm waiting. I can still, like, sketch something out briefly in a few seconds while I'm waiting for someone to call me back or to email me the next task. But I can't do a lot of other stuff, and I can't work from home anymore either. So, long story short, a lot of the day is spent sitting around in a cubicle just waiting, right? Just waiting for something to happen. And stuff happens like regularly. Like I'll have days, plenty of days where I have like no time to do anything at work. But like I would really enjoy if I just didn't have to do work and I could just work on my projects. And I've had people who tell me like they would be so bored without work, and I'm just like, how would you get bored without work? There's so much to do in life. How do you not have 1,000 things to do every single day? Like, even without work, how do you not have like 1,000 other things you'd like to be doing? A dozen experiences you'd like to have, a million new thoughts you'd like to get down on paper, a wondrous idea you would love to try. There's just this unrelenting joy in life that I feel almost like a completely different dragon when I talk about it, because I feel like at times I can be a bit of a negative Nelly. Like I'm very, very doom and gloom at times, and then other times I'll get like this unrelenting love and passion for just the act of existence itself. No thoughts, head empty. It is funny too, because I am very much a nihilist. I don't see a purpose to life. But why do you need one? There's so many wondrous things you can be doing that you can find meaning and joy and just purpose in. You don't need an inherent one. Build one for yourself. There's so much wonder in the world. And it just like, it aches inside me. That is me in the truest sense. Ugh. And at times I can be very gloomy or like even subdued. And I've had moments where people get caught off guard. Like people who know me don't, but people who don't know me super well outside of very specific environments will get caught off guard when I start talking about like a dozen different things I'm working on. They're like, "You're the guy who sat slumped over his phone idly scrolling for the last few seconds. How do you have this much to do?" And like, yeah, I'll read or I'll chat a bit, you know, kind of subdued. But when you ignite my passion, man, I am a firework of emotion and just endless passion for things. Which is part of the reason I started doing this, right? Part of the reason I started doing streams and videos is because I had these moments where I would just talk and talk and talk for hours on end about things. Literally, back when I was doing these as like audio podcasts, right? The reason I started it was because I went on this long car trip with my dad, and we were in the car, my dad was driving, and I just talked for like 3 hours straight about like 2 different topics that my dad and I were both interested in. And my dad was like, cool, something to do on the ride. And afterwards, when I was literally like gasping for breath, my throat was sore, and I was like grabbing the water out of the back of the car to like, gulp down it. My dad was like, you know, I know you're looking for something to do, because I was looking for a job at the time. I was working at Barnes & Noble looking for like an actual job. My dad said, hey, why don't you like just do this? Like, even if you don't like make a living out of it, you might enjoy it, because you really seem to enjoy talking about stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I don't think I would. And my dad was like, no, you definitely could. Well, I'm pulling for Shinku. Oh, he's pulling for Shinku. I hope you hit your drops. I do. I don't play gacha games. I don't do a lot of loot boxy stuff. But I do hope you get your drops, man. I do hope you get your drops. I used to play Overwatch, so I understand you're hoping for that specific skin. But yeah, that was like probably one of the best moments of my life. Because I feel like afterwards, right, I got into like drawing a lot more. It really, honestly, this channel has been the best practice for art I could ever have asked for. Oh no, there is no if in the equation. I eliminated that. I don't want to know how many packs you have. I genuinely don't. I feel like I'm getting worried for you. But, no, like, working on this channel has been a great way to get myself, both, like, my mind more active. It's just really engage. The only effect luck has and how early I get it. It really has gotten me to branch out into so many different things. Video editing and audio recording weren't things I really did a lot. The most I'd ever done in that regard was when I used to, like, take online pirated movies I got. So I got like the old Digimon movies from like screen videos that were like recorded, you know, the straight to TV movies that were not released as Blu-rays. I actually got a few of those from Digimon Tamers, and I used the old Windows DVD Maker, which used to be a fantastic program, by the way. It let you very easily create like special menus and stuff. Really cool program. I'm sad it's gone. Remember back when Windows was good. And I used to I did that, but I didn't really do a lot of drawing. I didn't do a lot of creative works at all, aside from maybe some programming at times. And even then, that was pretty limited. And I just didn't think I had it in me. Like, it took assembly kind of pushing me to do, like, more art stuff, too. And to push me to, like, do drawing and shit. Outside of just, like, the bare minimum of, like, smashing pre-made clip art together. And as I did it, I found that I loved doing it. I had a deep, abiding joy. And I will occasionally just draw stuff that has nothing to do with my channel now. Just to draw. Because I enjoy the act of drawing and of developing a skill set. And I think that I should have guessed I would enjoy doing stuff like that a long time ago, because I'd always loved mastering skill sets and stuff, right? I'd always loved improving and growing. And, you know, that's part of why I like playing video games, because it was like your mastery, you're learning and mastering a skill set, even if it's a very niche one. And now I have like 1,000 different things I can do that I will be doing forever, and I'm making progress on them too, which is amazing to me. Because as a kid, I did not think I was that good at this kind of stuff. I thought I was pretty subpar, and I was, but I could improve. And my greatest regret in life will forever be that I did not start drawing and making YouTube videos back in like high school. Because I feel like I would be in a very interesting place if I had done that. I feel like I would be a better person if I had done that. At the very least, I'd be more developed in my artistic skill. I regret not getting involved in more artistic stuff. I remember back when Code and Assembly was doing this, like, Dr. Steel music video, and I was kind of, not really into it, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was a angsty little shit in high school. I was a fucking killjoy in high school compared to the modern me. He was still in a very small mindset, and he had not fully grown into who he would become. He was an angsty little annoying shit, and I'm amazed you tolerated him as long as you did. Dr. Steel, Dr. Steel. But yeah, so I am, I as you can tell, I'm very passionate about this kind of thing. No, duh, I just spent a while just like really getting into the ramble on that one. It is in the name, right? You knew what you were getting into. You had to know what you were getting into here. Alright, I feel like I should be able to see the key now. Even if it was like hidden under books, I should be able to see it around here. I'm gonna take a little bit of time to go looking for keys. Maybe there's one like hidden on like the ceiling. You know, it is amazing what people can make out of like a single, like limited assets they have available. Like, think about it. This entire game is actually pretty compelling, and it's a singular room, right? They literally made one room and over 3,000 book covers. Well, they made like 300 book covers, because a lot of these are like sets of 10. 300-ish, because some of these are like sets of 3, right? So it's probably like somewhere between 300 and 400. Well, this was a very unexpected. I got Shinku from a gold chest on the board. Very rare. I have no frame of reference, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you regardless. I have no frame of reference on how good that is, but I'm happy for you regardless. Structural analysis of sorcerer's equations. Sorcerers use math? I thought they were just like born with powers. Maybe this is like a different, maybe it's not using D&D rules. Maybe sorcery is just, you know, okay, this is actually a pet gripe I have about some fiction settings. Some fiction settings use sorcery and wizardry interchangeably, right? Like magic is just like magic. They'll use like 1,000 different words for it. Usually shamanism or druid magic is like a little bit different. But like sorcery and wizards can be kind of interchangeable, right? They'll call them mages, wizards, sorcerers. It just comes down to personal preference. Then you have D&D, where there are clearly different magic systems going on for those different classes, right? But then you'll have some settings, and I'm struggling to remember specific ones off the top of my head, that will use the terms interchangeably sometimes, but also make it seem like there's like a difference. You know? So like, is there? Like, is sorcery, like, because it always drives me insane where I can't tell, right? When I'm like, is there lore here? Is there, like, world building that we got cut out in the early development? The gacha in NTT is unique. NTE is unique. It's arranged like a board game. Okay, so you went, like, down the board and you went to the gold chest and you got it there. I still don't know the tiering system for how things are supposed to drop, which is why I probably still won't understand it, but good to know info, I suppose. I really do wish I could find one of those other keys. I feel like I have to be overlooking them, like, severely. But, man, I cannot for the life of me find the other keys. The worst part is there should be at least like an overlay, but there's so many books like activating my sight, right? That I can't really see them. Oh well. We'll keep looking for him slowly but surely. We'll find him eventually. Breathtaking Curse of Trophy. Trophyless? Breaking the Curse of the Trophy List. Wait, is this a self-help book about curses? Oh my god, it's an entire book about breaking curses designed to make sure you always lose. You roll a dice and move the place amount on the space of the dice. Okay, yeah, so like classic, like, basic board game stuff. Like, not like board game, like advanced board game, but like really basic board game movement systems. Okay. You know, your game of life, your Monopoly, you know, that kind of vibe. All right. Really do feel... Oh, that's... I just noticed this. They have D20s in the chandelier. Look. The little crystals are D20s. That's adorable. Oh my god, and these are... Oh my god, it's different dice. That's cool. That's kind of cool. Not all of them. It seems like it's like they've got like the diamond-shaped dice, which are like the 8-sided dice. They got the D20s. Still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. Lots of little details in this place that make it worth exploring. This. Hello, Noah Mercer! Good to see you again. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a bit. Like a week or so. You know, it's been time. Time has passed. But we're organizing books in a library. The fairy is wanted for the destruction of school property. I hope Merlin locks her in a classroom and forces her to write lines for 1,000 years. She's a fae. She can deal with it. Oh, missed the jump. We really do have mad hops for a wizard, though. I'm just going to say that. We have mad hops for a wizard. Vector space theory of magic. Nice. I do love it when magic kind of gets mixed with science a bit. It always has like a nice vibe. Well, again, one of the reasons I do bring the series up a lot, but the Heartstrikers, the DFZ series, right, by Rachel Aaron. I love how the mages have this like argument over like the methodology. So there's this actually really cool world building detail in the books. It actually is not something you actually explore until the second series, which is completely different character, right? The first series had this character called Marcy, and you see this thing where thaumaturgy is the branch of magic she studied. It's all about like specific runic circles and calculations, you know, applying science, but you're using magic to alter reality. But you gotta know how you're doing it, precise equations and all that jazz. And she actually is very dismissive of shamans in the book, because they had to break into the shaman party initially in the first book. It's like one of the first things they do. And she's like, oh yeah, shamans just grab magic and throw it around wildly. And you know, they have spirits to help them do it and all, so fine, but like, come on. I don't have a lot of respect for shamanism. I'm sorry, I'm not a shaman, alright? Thaumaturgy is clearly superior. And it's pretty subtle. Like, she's boisterous about it, but also it's not something they focus on a ton, right? It's like a background detail. It's like, wow, she's really a thaumaturgy. But it's, you know, her school of magic, so it's like, fine. You're just like, okay, that's fine. And you see other people using different schools. You run into shamans, like an alligator shaman who's doing like environmental work in the sewers. You run into different mages. You run into a different mage who uses his own custom system called labyrinth magic, where it's all about constructing these like architectural maze-like structures in the air or around objects. So it's all about like fractals and stuff, but not like mathematic fractals, but like visually. He seems to rely a lot more on visual magical symbols rather than calculations per se. But Marcy has like a great deal of respect for this branch of magic. You know, she thinks it's really cool. She tried to learn it herself, but she just couldn't get her head around it. You know, really show off how impressive he is like as a character, because he's like the UN's like ambassador for magic, like, you know, their head mage, that kind of guy. And In the sequel book, you run into a different character as the main protagonist, and this character is not good at thaumaturgy. In fact, she believes she sucks as a mage. Her dad is a dragon who essentially, alright, look, dragons do some messed up stuff, and her dad essentially really cared about her mom, because her mom was, like, you know, beautiful and smart and efficient. She was his head human, like, his right hand, and he wanted her to have a daughter that he could essentially adopt, because dragon families are messy. Dragon hierarchy is always based around who can usurp the other, and you can even devour another dragon's flame when you kill them to take their place and their power. So parents don't often love their children, and the few times they did, it doesn't always work out well. Like, the only good example we really have is Chelsea, who cares for her children, but she had a whole trauma thing going on where they were forced for like a century to not know she was their mom, and she had a lot of trauma associated with it, so she has other reasons. She's not a typical dragon in a lot of senses. There was Bethesda's dad, who cared for her, but she used the opportunity to backstab him, kill him, steal his power, and usurp his clan, murder all her siblings, and then turn his bones into weapons. So again, that's the typical dragon family thing, right? That if the parent is, like, kind. So the Korean dragon was like, I don't want that. I want a child I can love wholeheartedly and not worry about them trying to, like, eat me. So he got his favorite human, his pride and joy, the most efficient, the one he's closest to say, like, maybe not love, but he appreciated her and respected her as a subordinate, right? And so he had her essentially find a genetically compatible donor, and they had a test tube baby who was his precious daughter. And he wanted a powerful mage too, because that was like the one thing that the main character's mom wasn't. She wasn't a mage. So he essentially bred for that trait with like powerful magic. And she has an immensely powerful draw. She can draw in a lot of magic at once, but she's not good at actually controlling it. And she turns to burn out circles. So she's shitty at thaumaturgy. And she was called a terrible mage by most of her tutors, who really saw her, like, they were constantly talking about how she had so much potential, and she just needed to find it. But no matter what she did, it didn't work. And in the book series, the DFZ is now like an ascendant spirit, and she's looking for priests. You know, shamans, mages who can convene with gods and channel their power. And it turns out she's a really shitty thaumaturge, but she's an excellent shaman. She's amazing at handling the massive amounts of magic that spirits give off and channeling that power almost instinctively without circles, like shaping it with her raw, essentially psychic hand, so to speak. And she's really good at it. And they have this whole thing where they talk about how thaumaturgy is popular because it's really useful in the modern day. It is a very easy to use type of magic. The things thaumaturgy produces can be used even by non-mages. Like, they can be made to run off ambient magic with the touch. You know, they're integrated into, like, phones and stuff now. And thaumaturgy is all about the individual's journey, their ability to shape mana on a one-to-one basis. A thaumaturge can create a circle, and as long as they can explain it to other people, anyone can use that circle, right? People can literally copy the work of others. In fact, the main character isn't great with thaumaturgy, partially because she just doesn't get it. Like, all the mathematical symbols, like, she's never been able to square it with magic. And she basically is, like, literally a script kiddie at the beginning of the story, but for magical circles. She's, like, copying entire magic circles off the internet to utilize. And when she finally comes into it, she's like, why did nobody realize I was like a freaking shaman prodigy, apparently? Like, I am essentially made to be a shaman. In fact, like, the genetic tampering bait with the large draw essentially made her a particularly good shaman. It was she also mentally gets shamanism a lot better than thaumaturgy, but inherently her magic, like the way she naturally utilized it due to the genetic tampering, is inherently good at shaman work. And she's like a bit despondent. She's like, why didn't nobody tell me? It's because all the schools teach thaumaturgy. Because thaumaturgy can be made into consumer products. It's the kind of thing that's useful for business. It is literally magic programming, whereas shamanism is magic art. But not like magic art that you could sell. It's magic that you have to, like, create like an art piece every time you want to use it. There's no quick, simple copy paste of the methodology. each person has to learn the tools and apply them properly. Magical theater. Yes, exactly. It's like a magical theater degree. And she's like an interesting character. She's like an art historian. She has this like adopted dragon dad. She has a freaking cyborg boyfriend by the end. It's very interesting. And this moment where she's like talking about how like all her life she had tutor after tutor, because again, she was essentially designed to be like a super mage, right? She was designed to be this mage with an insane capacity to handle magic. She can essentially sledgehammer gods and dragons. In a degree like Marcy, the other character, was only able to do while actively channeling a god through a proper connection formed through thaumaturgy. Like, she had to like bind a god to her and work with it willingly in order to do the kind of things that this character is just able to do with magic. Just raw magic, just flatten something, you know? And it really strikes that whole thing about like how education is hard to standardize, right? Because everyone has different strengths and talents, and it's one of the things I really liked. And when you have magic like that, right? Like a throwaway line about shamans in the book. Maybe it made it very clear that shamans are doing something different than thaumaturgists, right? And we got to learn a lot of thaumaturgy, but there wasn't a lot of info on like the exact methodology of shamans. In fact, by the end of the first series, I actually thought shamans were basically just doing what Merlins do on a small scale, because the whole thing with Merlins is they forge these bonds and these like agreements with gods, and they become their vessels to like direct their endless power to do powerful goals, and to also prevent them from like getting consumed by their purpose. Okay, I see. It's like a board game. Yeah, like a Monopoly board. And I always just thought that like shamans were just doing that with like normal spirits, you know, animal and nature spirits. But they were just doing like a more like a Merlin light thing. But it turns out they're doing something very different, and the author went and actually did like made this difference, made these throwaway details about the world the focus of an entire character arc. It's one of the reasons I think Rachel Aaron is a very solid writer. Because she's able to take these very throwaway things from previous stories and flesh them out in ways that not only expand the world, but characterize the new protagonists. Typically, you get characters from cards on the board, but there is a small chance you get them from chests. Okay, so it's kind of like an extra bonus. Like, you weren't expecting to get it from a chest because they're pretty rare. You don't often land on the chest or get the thing you want from the chest. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I have immense respect for Rachel Aaron. I bring her up a lot, but that's because I don't see anyone else talking about her books. And I think she has, like, an extremely good grasp of, like, the fundamentals of writing fantasy and fiction in ways that actually make it more interesting. I will forever be happy I found her books, because basically everything I've read from her has been fun. Though, the thing I think I enjoyed the least was probably the old, like, Battle of Little Bighorn style Magic Crystal alternate history thing from the US. But even that was incredibly unique and interesting. Like, it was, like, I have not read another book quite like that one. That was very interesting. They had necromancy by sewing magic eldritch crystals that might be part of eldritch gods into corpses. It's so weird. And so, like, it's got, like, Lovecraftian horror elements and, like, an ensuing apocalypse. And, oh, man, really solid book there. But she's only done 2 of those, and book 3 has not released yet. And I'm not sure it's getting released, because it's been a while since we got book 2. But that came out, like what, 2022, 2023? Yeah, it's been a while. She's got other stuff on her mind. She did, like, the Tear Down the Heaven series, which I still need to finish the final book of. I've had so many other things to do, though, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, and I'm so sad. I still need to read that and Dragonborn Part 2. Like, both of those are all in my top to read, and I just need to find a moment where I have time to read them. I have the audiobook for Tear Down Heaven, but I just haven't started it yet, because I wanted to get through Blood and Dragons first, but I've had to do other stuff, and I've had things where I actually need to, like, pay attention and not have something play in my ear for a few things, so yeah, that's been like that. Went to the wrong shelf. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm glad you got your thing, though. I'm glad you got it immediately. Hey, at least you got all these other pulls for something else, right? Or you can save them for the next time. How does it work? Can you, like, save them for, like, other things when they come out, so you can, like, have a stockpile now for other stuff? Or is it, like, you have to use it in a certain time period? That's my main question with your like pull system. True love between a 20-year-old lady and a 80-year-old tycoon. Honestly, this is just a book that I've seen. This is like just a generic title for a type of romance book I've seen at Barnes & Noble. There are a bunch of books like this in Barnes & Noble. Like, really wealthy old guy meets extremely young woman and sweeps her off her feet is apparently a subgenre of romance. And you know what? If you like that, go for it. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge ya. Love be love, right? I guess. I don't know. I don't know how the age thing works with that. I've always been confused by that part. Like, if you're both consenting adults and you've both reached maturity, I'm not really sure, like, what the moral issue is anymore. So, I don't know. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Magical physiology of therianthropy. We love big wallets. We love big wallets. Ah, it's the gold diggering. That's the issue. Okay. Deed, you can stockpile in-game stars. You have a pity system that guarantees you the character at 90 pulls. Pity resets after you get the banner character. Okay. So that's good. Then, so getting it now means you get to stockpile all these old ones for later. That's awesome. Perfect. Alright. Making our move. Making our move. Oh, we're so close. I think I might go like a few minutes over if I can like finish this thing, because I just want to see the ending of this game, and I also want to finish it because I think like 3 sessions is enough for this. 3 sessions should be enough. Man, the speed run for this game is actually gonna be really challenging though. Like, damn. Alright. Doop, 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 doop. Romance novel. Senior in the Beast. Wait, Senior in the Beast? Huh. Okay. Wow, a lot of old person yaoi or whatever. Not old person yaoi, like old person romance. Then again, I guess this is a wizard's library? Oh, if I use the auto shelver, maybe. Maybe it'd go faster if I use the auto shelver. Yeah, fair. I mean, I still have to wait for recharges from the other one. Well, though, to be fair, they do recharge really fast now. Where the glow? Oh. Oh, it goes over here. So I was already on the wrong shelf. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Oop. That goes. This does actually speed things up a lot. There we are. Wow, we going fast. Alright, I think I actually know where this one is. It's on one of these, right? Nope. There we are. There we go. By the way, I just got my target standard 5-star character I was aiming for in the standard banner. That's good. I'm assuming that's good. It's hard for me, again, it's hard for me to judge, but I'm assuming a 5-star character is a good thing. Because 5 stars usually are the most. There we are. And we got another full shelf done. Hey! Look at us go. We are moving like, yeah, the auto shelver does actually very much speed things up. I don't think I probably should have started using it around the time I got like the 5 fully maxed out, right? Okay. Okay, rightio. Nice. Oh, wow. I am just, like, blurring through these now. Damn. The power of magic, everybody. Introduction to Inanimate. This is for Transfiguration, I think. Let's see, over here-ish, I think? Right? Yep, I was right. I'm remembering the shelves now, too. Damn. I'm actually learning. Look at that. Look at me actually learning the shelf placements. Woo! Just posted a picture of the live stream chat. Okay. It's hard to make out your design a bit, but I'm assuming, are those like roots or flowers on her clothing? I'm assuming some kind of like plant ability. Alright. Also, this jump. The jump is probably, I'm not gonna lie, I think my ability to jump super high is actually my greatest magic of all. You were right, Fred. Jump Wizard really is the most powerful power in the world. It really is. Whoop. Jump Wizard BOP. Because I can just, like, I'm not having to go down the stairs. Honestly, I think if you're doing a speed run, you run for the jump key immediately. The jump key and, some of, like, the jump key, the shelf finder. Well, no, if you're doing a speed run, you probably done enough times, you know where all the shelves are. And you know, like, which books are which, or you have, like, a guide open, because that would make that other ability somewhat redundant. So that you don't need it as much, and you don't need to spend as much time in the level opener. 2 pictures of her. Oh, there's a step on me picture. Okay. I missed the step on me picture. Two words to ascribe Fadia. Oppressive seduction. Yeah, I can see that. This is, oh, the cursed workplaces of a magicless world. Gods. I mean, I'm assuming given the way Merlin locked me in here with a magical barrier and told me I'm not allowed to leave until they're all sorted, even if I have to work all night, that magic isn't exactly the defining thing in making a workplace bad or not. Just saying. Let me tell you, the Inva understood the assignment. Doo-doo. Oh my god, it's morning. I have literally worked all through the night. The windows were dark a while ago, but now it's like bright morning. God, my wizard's been here all night. Merlin's gonna be so upset when he sees the door still sealed. I'm so fired. Nah, I'm only gonna get fired if I, like, wait the whole night away. Oh, no, because I don't... Ah, frick. Ah, yes. Zombie domination book. No. Oh, over here, wrong shelf. I thought that was the zombie book shelf for some reason. The English VA. Okay, the Ian. Okay, sorry, English VA. Sorry. See, my man went to like Ava, and then I was like, wait, why Ava? No, wait, no, English VA. Doi. That makes way more sense. Don't mind me. I'm just a moron. A book-loving moron. Okay. We've got like a little bit over 300 of them left. We are making good time. Yeah, the auto shelver has definitely saved me some time. I probably wouldn't even have to stay a little bit longer if I had like actually used the auto shelver when I got it. Pronunciation: Fadia. 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 I was putting emphasis on the wrong syllable. Fadia. Fadia. Alright, there we go. Okay. And away we go. Do 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 do. Also, if I have books on the shelf, I should probably just grab one. Oh my god, that would be like so useful. If there are books on the shelf I'm going to, I should probably just grab them and start sorting them from that shelf immediately. Duh. Let me tell you, the character models did not skip out on the jiggle physics. Look, if an anime game did skip out on the jiggle physics, I would be surprised. Let's be real. It's basically half their marketing budget right there. Like, that's... They basically just take their marketing budget and give it to the physics department, the physics engine guys, and say, make sure the jiggle physics come first. And then they walk away. Or at least half of the marketing budget. Nice solid half of it. Alright, one of these is not supposed to be here. And this is gonna cost me time. How did I misshelve this? The Foundations, Labor Studies. Why did I put Labor Studies over here with Ethics of Magic? Wait. Let me check this. Oh, I put it on the shelf here instead of over here. Okay. I was looking at, like, Ethics of Magic and saw, like, Labor Studies, even with magic. Overtime never ends. Labor magic. Oh, see, right here, this shit. The influence of short-lived cultures on long-lived species. See, this is actually an interesting one. Like, I would imagine, like, elves have, like, had their culture shuffled around by humans. Imagine, like, an elf who's, like, born during, like, a very turbulent time when trends are, like, running wild. And then you're an elf born in a very, like, culturally stable time, like the 50s. And, like, your formative years, right, for an elf is, like, your first few decades. And so, like, imagine you grew up in the 50s versus growing up in, like, the 2010s or the 70s. You're gonna have a very different expectation into how quickly culture is gonna change. Depending on when you were born, right? Imagine, like, young elves, and they're like, I thought human culture was supposed to, like, adapt and shift at, like, rapid pace. Why isn't it changing? Like, what do you mean things don't change in this town for, like, literal decades? Like, well, this isn't one of the big cities. You spent a lot of your early years in the big cities during, like, the riots, when the king got overthrown. That was a really tumultuous time period. That shouldn't be your expectation for human civilization. Like, they're fast, but they're not that fast, usually. That's actually very interesting. See, now I'm, like, kind of interested in that one. See, that actually sounds like an interesting premise. It's actually giving me like interspecies reviewer vibes, but for like a completely different topic. Oh man. Okay. Making good time, making good time. We gotta do it. We got this, we got this. And we're gonna head back down to that bottom shelf, and I'm gonna like shelve these first. Actually, just what am I doing? Auto shelf. Freaking moron. Just let it shelve itself. It's good. The books know what they're doing. My brain is on motion now. Oh, I kept trying to find that. Okay, I was like, what is the deal with that one? I'll have to come back and check in a second. It's like, oh, it's just a freaking normal book. It's just, I had like the last one right there. Because I saw there was like, you know, a book 10. It was supposed to have a big series. I forgot that I put some of these earlier where I like nearly filled them out. Oh, see, this series I can do without even using the 5. So I don't have to wait for its cooldown. Aha! There we go. Over here we go! Away! Look at all these nice ordered shelves. Ah. It rubs that part of your brain, right? The one that just goes like, ooh, everything nice and organized. Brr. Organization go brr. Organization go brr. Oh, we're about to complete another shelf. Nice. I think this is the last one of this shelf. Perfect. No? What is wrong with this shelf? 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, yellow. Succubus summoning techniques. Why is this here? This goes over here. Oh my god, I'm making mistakes, This is why I like the little icon that says, hey, you did a good job. It's right there, we promise. When you make a mistake, you have to go, like, check through. Man, oh man. What else? What else is going on? I feel like I've kind of, like, spilled my guts lately, though, right here. Like, right? I kind of, like, ran through all the stuff that's been going on. Oh! I watched an episode of Rick and Morty. I had that playing. Honestly, very good series. You know what? I'm glad Rick and Morty is going back on track. Rick and Morty has, like, really exploded lately again for me. The newest season has been fantastic. Easily their best one in, like, a while. Where is this book missing from? Oh, here. Right. Up here. We've only got a few books left. We can go a bit more. I think I should finish this before 9:45, so we should be good. Ooh. So here, grab them all. Use the 2. All right. And I'm gonna run into more things I've misshelved apparently. Dear gods. Alright, well, we can easily fix this. Where was he supposed to go? Okay. Throw them all in there. Thank goodness there's like some sort of verification system in this place. To be fair, I've been stacking books for canonically like 6 hours, you know. My character has got to be exhausted. Oh, man. Oh, over here. There we are. Yellow Gleam. Alright. We're really booking it now. Oh, God. I swear that was a pun unintended, but goody for me. That pun was unintended, but I'm actually very happy I did it, because that is actually very... I like it. I like that pun. That pun is nice. It's a good pun. It fits the mood. It's not dumb. Shiku's signature weapon. What's not dumb? What specifically is not dumb? I said a lot of things just now. Handy kitchen magic. I know where you go. You go to the practical magic area. I remember the practical magic section. Again, this is the shelf I would be like all over. But oh, okay. YouTube translated that. YouTube fucking translated that into it's not dumb. But sorry. YouTube does like a weird translation thing now, and I think it thought it was a foreign language. Don't know why. If you check the YouTube log instead of the video, you might see it. It's weird. Humanization, the transformation guide for non-humans. Actually, that seems like it'd be very useful, because like imagine if you're like a magic raccoon or something like that, and you're looking into like, you know, full body transfiguration, like turning yourself into like a dragon or a sea serpent, and you're like, all these books are about changing your human anatomy. I need to know about like changing raccoon anatomy, because like the basic beginner guides are all about turning from one thing into another, but you're using human as the medium, so like you're supposed to turn back if you're unexperienced, and I'm not experienced enough to like go straight from a form I'm unfamiliar to a form I'm familiar with, to a form I'm also unfamiliar with, so I should go back to an in-between form. It's like, but all the books are about how to go to a human body. I don't want to go to a human body. I need to go to a raccoon body. So that's actually pretty cool. Like, it's sad there's like only one series for everyone who's not human or elven, I guess. But it is nice that it's there for the library. Imagine, you know, maybe they have like a panda student or a raccoon student. These go in the romance section. Roses are red, violets are blue. You know, I actually don't know what the roses are red, violets are blue are from. Like, I know it's a famous, like, poem phrase. Or at the very least, it's, like, well-known. Probably the most well-known poem, like, at least, like, line in a poem that I've ever heard of. Because, you know, it's so often referenced. But I actually don't remember what it's from. I might have learned at one point, but I actually don't know off the top of my head what it's from. Anybody know? Because I'm actually curious now. Like, I've seen it so many times, and every once in a while I'll see something I've seen like 1,000 times before and be like, what is that from? Like, what's the origin of this thing? One thing about NTE Gacha is that you have a chance to get extra rolls. Really? I mean, I think there are some things that do that, like a try again roll or something. I know that, like, a lot of them have, like, some kind of failure thing nowadays. Like, Overwatch eventually made it so if you get repeat stuff, which is considered a failure in that one, you can, techniques to becoming air. Oh, that's cool. Like, turning into pure air. And, like, phase... So, like, mist form kind of magic. Interesting. Alright. Storage magic. See, again... All the cool magic is on the practical shelf. I'm sorry. Storing things in a pocket dimension is some of the coolest magic shit of all time. That is, like, beyond useful. Oh, God. I would abuse the Everlove. No. It's literally free rolls, not refunds. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool then, I guess. You know, I would abuse the shit out of having a pocket dimension. I'm already the kind of dragon who runs around with a bag everywhere. Like, I have a gigantic bag, a big old, like, messenger bag style backpack I bring everywhere with me. I bring it everywhere. It has my phone charger in it. It has, you know, my power brick. It has, like, a book or two. It has my drawing tablet. It is the thing I bring with me everywhere. And if I had a storage pocket, I would carry so much more shit around with me. But like in a pocket dimension, that'd be so cool. See, like all these like battle magics, and I'm immediately after like the fucking household charms and pocket dimensions shit. I feel like that's what a lot of people would like though, right? Like, I feel like if magic was a thing and everybody could learn spells, sure, there would be people who would learn to rend reality or conjure storms or whatever. Because, you know, in a drought, that could be really useful. Or, you know, just because it's cool. But I also feel like a lot more people would be there for like the 101 household spells. We'd have like the listicles of the most useful spells. It's like, have you heard of this spell yet? 100% guaranteed to remove all stains from your pots and pans. 101 spells that you haven't heard of that you should definitely use to control your weight. God, so it just gets so taken over. There'd be a bunch of fake ones too that don't work just to get people angry and commenting on the video or like the article. It's like, this spell isn't even real. It's clearly not based on actual arithmetic principles. What do you think we are, stupid? Oh god, I can like see it. I can like see that world. To be fair, Rachel Aaron had a bit of that. They had like spells in like like online forums for spellcasters where they were like sharing their favorite spells and shit. So like that's already a thing I've seen like one or two other stuff, just not like as prevalent. And I know things like Harry Potter often have like a character who's like very, like if they have like a motherly character, they're very good with like household charms and shit, right? Like making sure everybody's comfortable and okay. But I feel like it's a kind of undervalued school of magic in a lot of ways, like legitimately. Like being able to just make everyone else feel very comfortable and safe and being able to effectively, easily clean up your house with like a wave of a wand or like just rolling your hand over things. Oh, Emerald Club key. Trust me, I didn't set any traps in the... Oh god, what is in here? I feel like that was a warning. I have a permission to run. Oh my god, I finally have a run button. It took me until like the end of the goddamn stream. Look at this, we're less than 100 books from the end, and I finally unlocked permission to run around. There are spots on the board that if you land, give you extra dice as a reward. That's cool, I like that, it's kind of cool. I finally unlocked the ability to run. So I was correct. There were some keys on the benches. They were just like really buried. I still don't know where the fourth one is, but I don't think I'm gonna find it, unfortunately. At least not in my, like, this playthrough, right? I actually might play through this again, because it's just kind of... I don't know how to describe it, but like, I'm not usually a huge cozy game person, but as someone who has had to organize books, and sometimes even finds it stressful, I have no idea why I enjoy this. Like, I feel like I shouldn't. Like, I did it partially for the memes, right? Like, Librarian Dragon organizes library, you know? Very, 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 very in-jokey kind of stuff, kind of fun. It was at least a fun premise, and I thought the game looked interesting or unique-ish. But I wasn't expecting to enjoy this as much as I do. I don't know. The book titles have been interesting. They keep my attention. They give me something to, like, think about. Like, this world. I think, like, the little bits of detail we have gotten about the little fae who rampage the library are nice little add-ons. It's just a decently made game that has a pretty fun, compelling core premise or core gameplay loop. I like that there's, like, an interesting other stuff you can look for, so it means that you're supposed to be, like, looking around while you're organizing, not just organizing. You know, you're supposed to be glancing around for keys or hidden secrets or little details about the world. They really made the most of the gameplay loop. And I can't believe I'm talking about a game where you basically just walk up to shelves and put books on them. Like it's some kind of, like, design... Like, I'm talking about the design of a game where you literally just play a librarian putting books on shelves. But it's legitimately fun. And it has, like, some cool models and fun design and It's a game that is competently built. And I really enjoy it, and I don't know quite why. Don't know quite why this is hitting as hard for me. I feel like I should be more dismissive towards this game, but I'm not. That's not correct. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're almost there. We're almost there. Just a few more of these. It's all the short series now, it feels like. The definition, Compendium of Magic Civil Law, definition of personhood, rights, and succession. Oh, because you have probably like homunculi and automaton and stuff. So you've got to decide like what's the threshold for sentience. When you create life with a wave of your hand, you have to have an entire book, just 3-volume book discussing like what level does a artificial magical being become sentient and deserving of like you know, civil rights and shit. It's good they've at least thought about it, right? Like, you know, there are plenty of other magical worlds that are completely unprepared for when their students create sentient life, and there's, like, horrible ethical questions about it. At least they're prepared. Oh, I shelved that one wrong. Also, I think I should just grab some more of these now that we're getting down to the wire. So, let's see. There we go. Okay, okay. We really are going close to that deadline, huh? That 7:45 deadline, I mean. Alright, let's just grab all of these. Because we can probably keep them all. I think we can keep almost all these in my hand now. Alright, books are down here. Stock them right there. We have a whole series right here, so we can go ahead and stock these. Now we can grab the rest of these. Oh my god, we're there. We're almost there. We're so close now. Run already, you idiot. Run! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. How do some of these get misshapen? I think I put them there because they were green, and I was just like, green to green at one point. Okay. Ooh. Oh! I did it! We beat 9:45 by a minute. Nice. Alright. It's time to leave. Principal is really strict. Are you certain you want to leave? Yes. He's going to grade my work. Oh shit, I missed 10 of them. What the fuck? Clear times for special stages or not fully not recorded. Oh, fuck me. Congratulations, you are a sleeping person. Listen closely. I just toured the library. Let me turn around. So total turnaround. It was a disaster before. Complete and total disaster. The worst chaos anyone has ever seen. But now it's looking like a real place again. I really should have done it once over to make sure all the shelves had the proper books. I must have had like a few shelves that like had wrong books, but oh well. But now looking like a real place again. At least there's some order. You did a good job. I'll give you that. You're a tough cookie. Don't get twisted. I hate half-baked more than anything in the world. You stopped right at the finish line just for perfect. It's a disgrace, frankly. We have the most famous, most incredible magicians coming from all the world. My reputation is world-class, best of the best. And your world's not there yet. You're at a major crossroads right now. Almost, in my world, almost is the same as failure. It's loser talk. You should be thanking me for my patience. If I were some ordinary low energy principle, you'd be a miserable janitor dusting shelves in the dark at the back right now. Believe me, it would have been a disaster. I'm giving you until tomorrow, but if I come back and see one book just one out of place, your career is over. Got it? Okay. Wait, can I continue? Okay, wait. I want to just see if I can figure out which shelves. Okay, so we have over here. So that one's good. I'm gonna like figure it out real quick because I feel like I can, because I just need to figure out which ones I fucked up. Wait. How is it not in order? Is it a side one? That's correct. Oh shit, do they have to be in a very specific order somehow? Okay, here's what I'll do. If 10 are out of place, wouldn't that be 2 shelves? Oh! I'm an idiot. That's not what was happening. I thought maybe they had to be in a specific order. But, no. Fucking... Yeah, but they're all... So, if the book is not in the right series, it will screw up. Okay, so... Oh! I messed up this. Messed up that. 10 out of 10... 10 are out of place, then that'd be 2 5 shelves. No, because if 10's out of place, it could just be the order. So when it glows yellow, that means it's in the right series, and this book isn't on another shelf. It'll grow a dull orange if it's if that's the issue. 7, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Here. This is back when I was like manually shelving before I started using 4 a lot, clearly. In my rush, I made little mistakes. Fortunately, I can just look for whatever shelves don't have the glowing sigil. Ah, over here, 2C. Okay, let's see here. Helps when they're like all different colors too. 10, 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Ah. There we go. And that fixes that shelf. Okay, cool. Moving on. But yeah, you know, they're all on the, all of them are in the right shelf, like shelf. I just think I misordered some of them. It looks like, 3 and 2. There's another one here. 1, 2, 3, 2. I'm actually wondering now if the 4 didn't organize them in order, if it just threw them on the shelf. It might not have thrown them on the shelf in order, and if I didn't hit 1, I don't think I hit 1 every time, that might have been what caused it. Especially with like the smaller books when I really started going all off on it, that might have caused some issues. Okay. 7, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Ah, here we go. Yeah, see, you can see with this one too. I think 4 doesn't order them, so sometimes I was hitting 1 to auto-sort them, I mean. But other times I wasn't. Other times I was not auto-sorting them, and that's what caused the issues. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah! Here we are again. There we go. Alright, now we only have one more. There should only be one more misappropriated shelf. It's downstairs, I think. Ah, here we are. Alright, last one. This is why we do thorough checks. We even have, like, light-up billboards. We really should have been able to get that. I mean, like, honestly. I literally had to just check for lights. Oh, and you also get an achievement, so I really should have known. There's, like, no excuse for not knowing that time. Oh, look, I get that pizza. He actually promised me a pizza, and he actually delivered a full... Ooh, this actually looks like a homemade pizza. It's actually... You know what? As pizza party shit goes, homemade pizza is nice. That's pretty sweet. Listen, everyone's talking about how we handled the situation in the library. It's a huge story, a total success. It's because I made some very smart move. God, this is upper management if I ever heard it. It's probably the smartest moves in the history of this university. Everything went perfectly because of my amazing leadership. I told you exactly what to do, and as always, I was proven right. I only settle for the best. Everyone knows that. Now, I looked at the shelves. You organized everything, and honestly, it's a beautiful job. Books are in perfect order, exactly where they belong. I was going to give you the credit you deserve for that. The fact that you were able to maximize your potential under my direction is a wonderful thing for you in this library. You did a great job. Truly spectacular. You were able to maximize your potential under my direction. For being said in clearly like a fantasy world, this is the most corpo speak I've ever seen in a game. But I need you to understand one thing. The reason this library shines so brightly is our hard work is producing results at the highest possible level, the standard I set. Your talent finally found its true form because the foundations of good gods Merlin is an ass. You were a little slow at times, but because of my precise instructions, everything ultimately came together in this perfect way. You're the librarian I personally chose. The fact that you did the job perfectly is proof of how well this environment I've built actually functions. But where we are heading is even higher. Next time, keep that accurate, but surprise me at lightning speed. I expect even more from you as we take our reputation to even greater heights. GG no re. My gods. That is like... Oh, I'm just going to see what the special stages are. I'm not going to actually do them, but like, what's the gimmick? Oh, fuck. No! No, I'm out. Bye. Bye, guys. I'm not dealing with the flying books. Nope. No. The special stage is dealing with the books moving around and flying off the... Oh my gods, no, I don't even want to know what that's about. Let's just leave. We need to leave. Leave before he asks us to do it again. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Yeah.